Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I apologize for us being a little bit delayed. That's entirely my fault. Although I'm going to blame Indian Wells a little bit for surprising me with that quick turnaround, but maybe it wasn't that quick.
It was very quick.
It does
I'll
seem.
put in a good word for you. It was really quick.
Thank you, Kira. Yeah, because it does feel like a quick turnaround. But the news is that Wozniacki has held serve, and it's over to you, Igor, and it's 30 all on the Poles serve. I'm going to share the score on the screen, and in the meantime, I would like to hear what Kira has to say about this particular match.
Yeah, really great first service game. Actually, it's a shame we we did miss it because it was brilliant. Lots of pressure from Swiatek right out of the gate on Wozniacki's serve, but Wozniacki held up really well. Actually, made some brilliant backhands with a lot of angle. They've already got into some brilliant rallies, and he's now fighting on Igor's serve. Had love 30, but Igor's sort of come back now and a bit stronger again. But yeah, a really great start to the match.
Yeah, was a little bit down on this match, but the first two games suggest otherwise. What are your thoughts on this particular match, Shrihari?
I mean, I think Igor is the heavy favorite, to be honest. We did talk about the match. Not the match, I mean, Swiatek at Indian Wells not very long ago in the previous stream. I genuinely don't see anybody left in the draw who can beat her. I think the conditions are perfect, tailor-made for her game. I mean, it would be interesting because I am surprised that Wozniacki made it this far. But nonetheless, I still think she's the heavy favorite, not just for this match, but the rest of the tournament.
Yes, I think Kira and I are in agreement on that too, and she has indeed held serve. I'm going to let you two basically talk through the first set. I know that Shrihari is also watching Casper Ruud against Tommy Paul, so feel free to ask each other questions about that match too.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll share the score on the screen between Swiatek and Wozniacki, and you two can basically communicate with each other about matches that you're not watching. That could be fun.
Perfect.
Yeah, the players are just walking onto court now, so yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, if they weren't on at the same time, I would definitely have watched that Tommy Paul Casper Ruud bout. I think it's an interesting one. What do you predict?
I remember they last played. I don't know if they played again since, but I remember their match from the 2022 US Open third round. Yeah, I mean, Tommy Paul had his chances, ended up getting bageled in the fifth set. So yeah, it could be an interesting contest. Both players playing well this tournament, but then Casper Ruud has been playing really well on the hard courts this season so far. Already has more wins on the surface this season so far than he did throughout in 2023. So that's already a good sign for him. Made the final, of course, back to back in Los Cabos and Acapulco. So he is, riding a good wave of form, I would say, on the hard courts. I would actually favor him slightly over Tommy Paul.
Yeah,
he just seems like the more steady player. He's also in the decisive moments in the last several matches that have gone to a deciding set, he's been able to pull through, especially yesterday against Monfils, also against Holger Rune and Acapulco. So I'm giving Ruud the edge, especially if it goes to a deciding set.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I was really impressed with some of his tennis in the back end of that Monfils match yesterday. I thought he looked really strong. So I would have him to win, but I definitely think it will be close-ish.
Right. Yeah. I mean, let's hope it is.
Yes.
Because the first match was, rather one-sided. Of course, the two more higher profile matchups are what we're looking forward to more, I would say, on the men's section. But regardless, I mean, Tommy Paul is a pretty solid player. Hasn't had a ton of success at the big event so far. Although, Casper Ruud, again, multiple time Masters 1000 finalist, is he? Yeah, he is. And also 3-time Grand Slam finalist. Even though he hasn't won a big title yet, he
Yeah.
is still one of the best players in the world over the last 2 or 3 years for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Wozniacki struggling on serve again here, with Iga playing some really kind of quite aggressive tennis, but she's holding up well. She's 40-30, so
Yeah, I noticed Iga was love 30 down.
yeah, she was on her first service game. She was love 30 down. Just sort of, again, Wozniacki sort of playing aggressively as well. They're both coming out very, very strong and aggressive, but Iga was able to sort of come back from that and hold the serve quite easily in the end, even though she was love 30 down. She sort of turned that around, and she's now got juice on Wozniacki's serve with a sort of drop shot that didn't go to plan from Wozniacki and a lovely backhand put away from Iga. Somebody said, what if Wozniacki pulls off an upset? I don't think it will happen, but I think it's really important to, like you said earlier, I think you didn't expect Wozniacki to get this far. I didn't either, and she has. So nothing to say she couldn't surprise again, I suppose, but it is a different level of opponent for her.
Yeah, several notches higher. But it is kind of interesting with Swiatek, right? Because she didn't win a WTA 1000 for quite some time until she won Beijing last year. And then, of course, she won the WTA finals also on hard courts, won Doha, crashed out early at the Australian Open to many people's surprise. The Dubai loss wasn't that surprising.
No.
Or that much of a shock. It was a shock in the sense that, okay, I mean, she was the only seed left in the semifinals, and we thought, okay, she, and also considering her head-to-head records against the remaining players, we thought Coco Gauff would be the one to make it rather than Kalinskaya, and we're well aware of that record. So I thought, well, it's probably her chance to, get that Doha, Dubai double. I mean, only 2 other players have done it before. I think Hingis and N, if I'm not mistaken. But then, yeah, she ends up losing in that manner. So, yeah, I think she's bounced back pretty well since, beating one player who gave her a lot of trouble at the Australian Open in the second round comfortably. Also beating the player who upset her at the Australian Open comfortably.
Yeah.
I think she's looking pretty good.
I think that Noskova win will have given her a good amount of confidence as well, because so soon after the Australian Open to have such a dominant win over somebody who knocks you out of a tournament that you didn't expect, I think has helped her going through this tournament now, and should give us a confidence to probably take it to the final and maybe win the whole thing.
Right.
But Wozniacki held again there, sort of under extreme pressure again, but sort of finding a way for the moment. So it could be more of a contest than I might have predicted.
Right. Oh, turns out the last time Tommy Paul and Casper Ruud played was at the Laver Cup. And of course, they count those matches for the head-to-head for I don't know what asinine reason. But
I didn't think they would count those, honestly. If I had to guess, I wouldn't have thought they'd count.
Yeah, it makes no sense, especially since the format's different. You don't play a full set in the. You play best of 2 sets and then a super tiebreaker. So
exactly. It's
just, and what do those matches mean? Right, it's an exhibition.
Yeah.
Anyway, Casper Ruud won that match, which is funny because that's the only point Team Europe scored in that tournament. We lost 1-12, 1-13, something like that.
It's quite strong.
Yeah.
Marcus has said, I'm no Iga fan, no thanks to her fans, but unless Iga is kind to Caro will lose easily. I haven't seen anything special from her since she's been back.
Strong. Oh, okay, very bold statement there.
Bold
no Iga fan.
I'd love you to elaborate. What have her fans done?
Have you been on Twitter?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm probably just
Yeah. Well, to be fair, most of the fan bases of top players across both tours, they give reasons for others to. Yeah, I think it's futile at this point. More often than not, it's futile for one group of people to say, "Oh, thanks to X players fans, I'm not very fond of that player," because they all behave the same. Fandoms tend to behave the same way.
Absolutely. All the top
Um,
players. I mean, I really like Iga, I really like Rafa, but when I see some some of the stuff on Twitter from people who also like them, I'm like, "Phew, maybe not."
yeah,
Maybe
well,
not
I'm a huge Novak fan, and then a lot of my uh, brethren, if you want to put it that way,
that.
yeah, better not to venture there
Yes,
because they
yeah.
just
I
have
think
the
it's all the same. It's absolutely all the same.
yeah, it's no difference. So Paul versus Ruud is just underway. Ruud serving 30 love. And, oh, it looks like I don't know if you're behind on your stream compared to the score. So
No,
okay,
I think I'm a little bit ahead actually. And Wozniacki did have a sort of half chance there, but Iga's on 30 all now, and
okay.
a strong point to get her 30 all in the end. It's important to note that Wozniacki did have a good US Open run, to be fair. I think it was sort of overshadowed in the end and sort of forgotten about because it didn't last loads of time. But I do think she showed some good tennis in that time.
Right. Yeah. Could you throw some light on what happened in her match against Kerber? I think it was the first set, was it? She was 5-1, 30 love up, and then she gets broken twice again. She takes a timeout. And before that, there were doubts regarding whether or not she could even play because she was still
Yeah,
limping. So yeah, what was going on with that?
it was really strange. I mean, I didn't manage to watch the full match with Kerber because unfortunately it was on at like 1 a.m. my time. But I watched the highlights, and the stuff that I saw beforehand really made me think Wozniacki was about to pull out when I looked on Twitter beforehand. But I've since seen that it was sort of a problem with her toenail. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. Apparently, it was she drilled into it or something like that.
Yeah, and she had to release the pressure. So I think it was sort of a weird narrative going into it. I think I expected Kerber to win that just having watched Kerber this week. I thought she looked stronger than I thought Wozniacki looked, but then in the actual match, Wozniacki, I thought, raised her level from her previous matches to get the win over Kerber. And she's raised her level here because she's just broken Iga for 3-1.
I see that.
So
Interesting.
really interesting. A really great break from her as well.
The question is, does she hold that on? I mean, even if she manages to take a set, it would be a monumental effort. If you ask me.
Absolutely. But she's
So
come out really fighting, and her first 4 games of tennis from Wozniacki have been incredibly impressive. So
yeah, Casper Ruud was 30 love up, and Tommy Paul then saw a break point, but Casper Ruud erased that with a pretty strong serve +1. And now he has a second serve, a deuce. Ooh, Tommy Paul stepping in quite a bit for that return. But yeah, both players are just trading backhands, and yeah, Ruud goes long with the backhand. And that's why I like watching Tommy Paul, because he likes mixing things up and he takes the ball so early. Such a good underrated ball striker, I would say.
yeah,
It is odd that neither player has had success at either the 500 or the 1,000 level. I think they're much better players than what they have to show for.
yeah.
But who knows? This could be the tournament, or sometime soon. Obviously, the clay season's coming up. I don't expect too much from Tommy Paul there.
No.
Yeah, Casper Ruud, of course. Kind of a clay specialist. Kind of, I say, because hasn't really won a big title, right? But yeah, 2 RG finals, not bad, and a bunch of
No.
titles as well. What, 8 titles, I think. 8
He'll
or
be
9.
looking for a good play season, I think, after last year. Slightly disappointed, I would have thought, with his clay season last year. So
Yeah, I mean, there was that Rome semi-final. He was set in a breakup against Holger, would have had Medvedev in the final, could have been a chance, right? But yeah, wasn't meant to be, and he had a good campaign at the RG. I enjoyed the semi-final for obvious reasons. And yeah,
Of course.
no, I don't think people expected much from him against Novak in the final, although he actually played a good first set, I thought.
Yeah. No, he did. It's a difficult one with Casper Ruud because I really enjoy his tennis, but people say 3 Grand Slam finals and nothing to show for it, but he's had those 3 Grand Slam finals against Rafa on clay, Novak, and Alcaraz.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty tough lineup that he's had so far. I still think he could do it on clay at some point, especially if, and I'm sorry to say it to you, if Novak isn't managing to sort of pick up his form.
No, I mean, at this
Which
point,
he will at some point, but it depends when.
Yeah, it was meant to happen at some point. If it happens at 37, it's much better than it happening earlier than,
Absolutely.
say, 2018, when we thought, okay, Novak slam winning days are behind him. But
Oh, I still definitely don't think his slam winning days are behind him.
probably not. But yeah, you can definitely see some bit of a change in the tide for sure. So Tommy Paul had a break point, and the forehand return of his clips the net, lands inside, and Casper Ruud is too far back to do anything about it, and he gets the break. Strange start to the match.
That's 1-0. 1-0 to Tommy, sorry.
Hey Jake, thanks for the nice words, and yeah, always good to see you in the comments as well.
Oh, thank you for the welcome as well. Wozniacki did back up her break, by the way, with slightly tricky serves game, but she's coming through. She looks really strong. She is just feeling her wrist, which is all taped up as she sits down, but she's 4-1 up, so can't be troubling her too much, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I like about serving first, because you get the early break and you're not very far away from the set on the first change events. It's early break, I would say 1-0, 2-1, and and you're not very far away. But then if you're receiving first and you get that early break, it's still a long way to go. You still have to keep holding until the very end. You have to manage your nerves better. But yeah, that's why I personally prefer serving first. Not many people focus on this so much, but I do want to get into the psychology of why certain players prefer to pick either to serve or to receive. Some players do, depending on the conditions or the opponents they're playing. Some players, they just have a go-to. Like Novak, I know almost all of his career, like when he wins the flip of the coin, he elects to serve first. Then you have guys like Medvedev, Sinner, Alcaraz, who they almost always elect to receive first. I don't know why, especially someone like Medvedev, even Zverev, they're supposed to be big servers. You would think they'd want to capitalize on that advantage they have, but it's interesting.
No, it is a very interesting. Sorry, I got a bit distracted halfway through there because Jerome was making me laugh in the chat with them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We were talking about it earlier when we did the Kostyuk match, and me and John were quite strong on Iga winning this quite easily. So, but
I mean, so was I. Jerome and I were actually chatting before play got underway, and he said, okay, he thinks correct me if I'm wrong, but he said, Jerome, but you said that you don't see Iga winning this title.
He did say that, yeah.
But of course, he did also say that. I asked him, okay, so who do you think will beat Swiatek? And I also said, I hope to God there's no Swiatek versus Goff final. That's the last thing anybody wants. But I asked him this, and then he said Kostyuk probably has a chance, but I mean, probably won't even get to that match. Who knows? I mean, it's still too early, I think.
Yeah, early to say, but I agree with that assessment that if anyone was going to beat Iga, I would agree that it would be Kostyuk, but clearly Wozniacki has something to say about that.
Yeah.
Swiatek with a slightly easier hold here, perhaps at 40-15, to get her feeling a bit more comfortable, maybe. But very impressive from Wozniacki. I really wasn't expecting this level from her at all, to be honest.
Right, Tommy Paul just saved a break point here. Meanwhile, so serving One Love juice. Okay, he knows exactly how to play this match. Looks like he's at the net right after the serve, and I think kind of took a page out of Domino's book in Acapulco.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Domino had the measure of him there, so
yeah,
it's a good game plan to adopt.
Yeah, definitely. Game point. Anyway, I think this game is more important. Wozniacki, I mean, she's 2 games away from the set. Does she hold on? Or?
Like you said, if she does manage to pull off even a set, then then it's a real achievement, I think. She's playing well. Jerome says Iga wins this in 3, then Kostyuk beats her in straights.
Very bold. Very bold. Tommy Paul's just held, and he's suffocating Ruud with the depth and with how early he's taking the ball.
Yeah.
Ruud is throwing everything at him, but again, he's coming back with interest. 2-love. I mean, it's the perfect start really for Tommy Paul.
Yeah, really good from him. Oh, Iga hits the net, but lands her.
Jerome, hello. Iga gets to the semi, she'll make to the final. I'd say if she gets to the semi, she wins the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I would have said she's already winning the tournament before this started.
Yeah, before this match, but
who knows?
Exactly.
Jake also said Nick is probably rocking back and forth watching this. Yeah, it's very possible. I'm with Nick. I'm a bit nervous, but it's all right. If Wozniacki wins it, then she deserves it. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting that she decided to come back after retiring. A la Kim Clijsters, I'd like to say. I think, Clijsters won a couple of slams after coming back out of retirement. Yeah, she won back-to-back US Open titles. And yeah, that's the thing. I mean, maybe, you just never know. I mean, I have known of a few players who've come back. I mean, Justine and she didn't win a slam after coming back, I don't think, but she made that Australian Open final in 2010 against Serena.
Yeah.
That was a fun match for most of it, from what I can remember. I don't know if the third set was straightforward or was it close, but yeah, I know that went 3 sets. But anyway, and like you said, Wozniacki was US Open, I think, the first slam since her comeback, and she made.
I think it was her first tournament, wasn't it? I think she said. I think she announced her comeback and basically said, "I wouldn't be coming back if I didn't think I could win the whole US Open." And I was like, "Okay, I'm ready to watch this woman play."
Yeah, pretty bold, and she made the 4th round. It's not bad.
Yeah, it was a really good run for her first tournament. And I think it sort of went under the radar with everything else that happened at the US Open and all the other runs and everything, but it was definitely a bit of a statement of her comeback.
Tommy Paul's blasting winners left, right, center past Ruud, and just hit a backhand down the line winner, and sliding backhand down the line winner, inspired probably by Djokovic. I mean, Ruud is sort of giving him an applause, but he's facing 2 more break points, in danger of going 2 breaks down already.
That's very quick. Unexpected.
Yeah.
Both unexpected results. Swiatek just had a breakback point at 30-40 and got quite upset when she hooked her forehand wide. I think she kind of turned to her team looking a little bit like, what am I doing wrong? But she often, I've seen her do this before, Swiatek. She does sometimes have a period of a match, I think quite often actually, where she struggles with somebody's game and then she sort of works out how to play them, which we'll see if she manages to do that here.
All right. Second serve, Ruud saved the first break point. Second serve and the second break. Oh, return backhand down the line winner from Tommy Paul. He's on fire.
Is that 3-love?
Yeah, with 2 breaks.
Oh wow.
This is
Go
some
on,
start
Tommy.
from Tommy Paul. I mean, I'm enjoying this honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Somebody
I'm a
takes
Casper
Novak
fan.
out of the draw for him and he's come alive.
Yeah, all it took was a Luka Nardi upset of Djokovic.
Yeah.
Then he played pretty well yesterday. I mean, I didn't catch that match, but seemed straightforward. And then
Yeah.
now, yeah, he's breathing fire. He's several meters and stepping into the court, by several meters for the second. So I remember he was doing that against Zverev at Indian Wells 2 years
Yeah.
ago. It was that I think Zverev was 4-2 up in the decider, and Tommy Paul kept stepping in for the returns. And Zverev double faulted 4 or 5 times in that game and ended up losing. um, yeah, no, 4 times, yeah, because it went to deuce and then got broken. And obviously, Tommy Paul ended up winning that match.
Yeah.
But
So it's a good time. I'll just say Swiatek's managed to get the break back now. She I think it was all from on Wozniacki had game point, and Iga took a forehand out of the air, smashed a lovely forehand winner, and then Wozniacki kind of, I think, crumbled a little bit on the next point, and Iga gets the break back. So it's 3-4 now on serve.
right. Jerome, thoughts?
Yeah.
Or I guess who knows what happens right after. But anyway. Something tells me that, I mean, if Swiatek gets through this match, probably the most she's going to be tested all tournament.
Yes, I think so. Especially if she comes from a difficult situation and turns it around.
Yeah, 4-1 down. And
somebody says Will Ferrell is in the crowd. I imagine that must be for the. Actually, no, it's probably for the Tommy Paul match, is it? If he's American, I don't know.
could be, yeah. By the way, I know John's here probably hearing this, but Mario seems pretty happy about this. He just says "my man" to me, if I can reveal it. But yeah,
Brilliant.
he seems ecstatic by the start. I mean, why wouldn't you if you're a Tommy Paul fan? This is amazing stuff.
It's a dream
30
start.
love. Yeah, 30
Tommy
love.
Paul fans everywhere.
Yeah.
I do like Tommy Paul, actually. I think of all the American players, I find him one of the most compelling to watch. Just because,
Yeah,
like you say,
definitely.
the variety, what he brings to the court, I think he's a bit more understated, less talked about, but I really enjoy what he brings to the tour.
Yeah. And Tiafo, if he is more consistent, also is pretty good for the sport. But now, I mean, since cracking the top 10 and since that US Open lost Shelton, I mean, he made the quarters. Yeah, well, it's been a terrible run of form since for him.
Yeah. If you'd have asked me a couple of years ago who my kind of top American would be, it would definitely have been TFO. He was just so interesting to watch. It's so fun, really, I think.
Yeah, he is for sure.
So I really hope he gets that back.
Tommy Paul's bossing even the rallies. He's just dragging Casper side to side, and he doesn't know what to do at the moment. He's looking listless. I think if Tommy Paul, gonna maintain this level for most of the match, all Casper can do is hope to God that there is some sort of blip in his level. Because if he plays like this, I mean, I think it's probably there's gonna be a bagel at some point.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well,
Tommy Paul.
forehand quality so far 9.4 for Tommy Paul,
Whoa.
6.1 for Ruud.
That's very rare. You'd think
Yeah,
Ruud will raise his level at some point, but
exactly. I mean, big delta. Is he missed the volley? He has. Okay. Yeah. Tommy Paul tried to be a bit too cute there on that. Goes long. There's another game point though. Oh, I see Swiatek's 40 love up. Order is restored, maybe?
Order has possibly been restored. She's looking A lot stronger now. She's just held to love, with Wozniacki sort of just making a few errors. But they're mostly forced because Iga's just come out swinging again, looking far more comfortable.
Right. Okay. Second serve from Tommy Paul. Casper gets the backhand return. Paul just shanks the forehand so badly. Missed the doubles line. And back to deuce. I mean, yeah, turning point. I don't know which match John is referring to with that break. Was it
Probably the Iga one. It's totally. I mean, Wozniacki was 4-1 up. It's now 4-4.
Right.
I'd imagine we're talking about this one. Yeah, it's completely changed the whole match. But I suppose I feel like it was sort of, as a Swiatek fan myself, when it was 4-1 to Wozniacki, I wasn't overly concerned. Do you feel like?
Yeah, there's no reason to be really.
Yeah, exactly.
4-1. Given that kind of assurance to herself and her fans that, yeah, she's turned around, some matches from insane positions. I mean, the most recent one I can recall was that Daniel Collins match. It was two breaks down, right? The deciding set.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. Yeah, I think it's, people often downplay how impressive comebacks are when they're performed by the best players in the world against people who are ranked lower than. I can understand why, coming back against Danielle Collins is not as impressive as Danielle Collins coming back against Swiatek. I get that, but I also think any sort of comeback from that sort of position is still worth talking about. It shows a mentality that should be talked about.
Yeah, for sure. Paul's just held for 4-love. I mean, Ruud had a break point, but Tommy Paul managed to save that. And Ruud is just blasted a backhand way wide. It's love 15.
How's Casper looking? Is he looking frustrated, sort of calm?
Yeah, you can't tell with Casper. He doesn't show
exactly.
too many
That's what
yeah, but yeah, definitely not. Yeah, he does look stoic still, but he's just at the moment he's just trying to go big on every shot, really, because he has a high base level for sure. But when a player takes the racket out of his hands or plays at a level he doesn't expect the player to, sometimes there's not much he could do. I mean, there's this match. There was a match against Artur Fies that I remember last year from Hamburg, where Fies bageled him, of course. And
yes, I remember.
Yeah, and again, Fies was just peaking and nothing. There was nothing that Casper could really do.
Yeah.
And of course, a couple of matches against Alcaraz. There was also the match against Alcaraz in Beijing. Again, Alcaraz stepped it up, couldn't really do. Oh, it's a break point for Swiatek.
Break point for Swiatek. Yeah, Wozniacki just had an overhead that she sort of dumped in the net. It was a tricky. I should give her a bit more credit. It was a tricky one. It was sort of over the shoulder, but she dumped it in the net for Swiatek. Break point. She's definitely struggling. Wozniacki. Sorry, I don't think. I'd be surprised if this set wasn't 6-4 Iga now, to be honest. There's some good rallies though. It's a good match. And Iga dumps her own forehand in the net with that one for deuce, actually.
Right. I mean, I know we're supposed to have. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was only going to say, someone's saying, go Wozniacki, go Sabalenka.
Oh.
I hate to break it to you. Oh, lovely down the line.
Like Novak Djokovic at the moment. Okay, Casper Ruud just held. He's on the board. It's 4-1.
He's on the board. It's not going to be a bagel.
Yeah.
Well done, Casper.
Not this set, at least. Or next year. Missed the first in time to see. Okay, yeah, so maybe.
So basically, Nick, you caused Iga to turn this around, is what I'm getting from this. She waited until you were watching, and then she was like, "Right, I'm gonna step it up."
Yeah.
She's got another break point here against Wozniacki. So yeah, that backhand is gorgeous. Exchanging forehands cross court, sort of pushing each other wider and wider. Oh, and Iga's attempt to go down the line does not go well. Goes wide. Back to deuce.
Nick, I'm glad I could help. Oh, interesting. So Iga has not won aside from Roland Garros, hasn't won a big title more than once. So this is her first chance to do so.
Of course, yeah.
Or am I wrong? I mean, she won what are the big tournaments she's won? Wait,
Well, Doha, she's obviously
Doha, right? My bad.
three in a
She
row,
did. She did 3 in a row, and of course, until this year, Doha and Dubai would alternate in WTA 1000 status. But
Yeah.
this year onwards, both are tournaments at WTA 1000. But yeah, of course, Doha is the first one, and this could be the second. I mean, it's insane because she is far and away the best player on clay, but she's also so much dominance on the hard courts.
Yeah.
I mean, only Australian Open, I would say, is a tournament. Okay, maybe even the 1000s before the US Open, she has not enjoyed too much success at. I don't think she's done better than semifinals.
No, I feel like it's a matter of time, but it's definitely not where she's
Yeah,
strong.
she's only 22, so 22.
Wozniacki just hit a beautiful forehand down the line to set up a game point, but then immediately doubles faults for deuce. So not the best, but I thought
it was looking a bit tight, I
the
guess.
first one was, yeah, I think she's just sort of struggling maybe with the idea of, like you say, on the one hand, serving first means you get that 4-1, you feel like you're close to it, but when that goes away, it can be quite tricky to mentally toughen up and come back. And Iga's just hit a brilliant forehand winner down the line for another break point.
Oh, here's Ghosty. I'm sure that's the word salad that means absolutely nothing serious. At the end of the year, the doctor's handing out awards. All right, we'll give you that. We'll make sure to have that engraved at some point.
It's a long way from the end of the year, though. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I don't. John, do you get any vegan pizzas at Bonn? Any good spots there? Oh, you do? I mean vegan pizza, not pineapple pizza. Yeah. What is? I don't know if there are people who like pineapple pizza, but what is that even? So it's back to deuce again.
It is, yeah, just sort of a strong forehand from Wozniacki and goes back behind Swiatek, and she tries to get back, but it comes off the edge of her racket. Fighting hard in this service game, Wozniacki. It could have been an easy break for Swiatek after the momentum shift, but she's hanging in there.
Tommy Paul is game point for 5-1.
Oof.
Comes the first set. Not comes the first serve into the net. Second serve. Embarrassing slip there. Double fault. Deuce. Looks like there's another break point.
Yes, another one. It's sort of another both sides of Wozniacki in 2 points again. She hits a brilliant winner the one before and then sort of dumps a forehand in the net immediately afterwards. And Swiatek's got a second serve to look at here, so
Ghosty says 5-1, baby, but it's still deuce for me. So is he time traveling or?
It's possible we've got a time traveler.
John's back with us.
Hi. And what has happened, Kira?
We got a break from Swiatek just as you joined. Wozniacki, they were exchanging forehands cross court most of the point, and Wozniacki just dumps one in the net, gives Swiatek the break. It was coming. It felt a little bit inevitable, but Wozniacki was fighting hard in that service game. But it did feel like it was a matter of time until Swiatek got the break. From 4-1 down, she goes 5-1 up, 5-4 up.
Yeah, and even even some of the points that Wozniacki was winning, it was there was a sort of some softish serves from Wozniacki that somehow Iga was putting in the tram line, and you could see that she was frustrated with her returns. So it was kind of a matter of time. I mean, even if Wozniacki had managed to hold, I still think this probably had a 7-5 or even a tiebreak set for Iga written all over it. And I don't know, that 4-1 game, or 4-1 becoming 4-3, if you like, with a hold and then a break.
Yeah.
Feels like the turning point.
Ruud is broken for 2-4. Ghosty, what are you talking about?
Oh, Ghosty, yeah, exactly. I was thinking
I
said,
had my doubts when they were in the middle of a long rally at 4-1 deuce.
Jumped it on that 5-1, baby. Oh dear. Jinxed it, I would say.
So it is 4-2 then, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, Paul still has a break. Nope, so Tommy being a gentleman, then Casper avoid the...
What a nice guy.
Yeah, I know.
Two nice guys. I mean, Casper's nice too. Tommy felt bad for Ruud. Yeah, that's fair.
Because
I know
they're both
Casper is nice because he bageled Tommy Paul at the US Open. So
Did he?
yeah, I mean the fifth set, 2022.
Oh, okay. Fifth set. Yeah. Well, you got to show no mercy there. I mean, to be fair, the GOAT also bageled Casper Ruud to love in the Wimbledon fifth set as well, Liam Brody. So
I was like, where is he going with this? And then
I was waiting to see what you're talking about here.
Yeah, I thought he meant Nadal, and he said fifth set. I was like, what fifth set? And then okay.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Yeah, fair enough.
No, we don't need to talk about Wimbledon 2023. I agree. Like it's
focusing on Iga. Yeah, just somehow Caroline needed to hang on to that break really for us to have some drama in this match. I could be doom and gloom and for all the wrong reasons, but in a way, this kind of sort of felt a bit like Arnaldi Alcaraz as well, where Wozniacki might just hang on for that first set, but then there could be a steamrollering in the second and third. As it is, we're actually looking a bit more like who was the match that she was for? Who was she 4-1 down to a couple of rounds ago, Kira?
That's what I was just thinking because I could picture it as well. It was Noskova, wasn't it?
Actually, it was 4-2, and that was to Noskova. She's exactly, 2-4 and 2 break points down, and then
right. I think it was 2-4, 15-40.
Yeah, and then she didn't win she didn't lose a game.
Yeah. That is brutal. 10 games in a row.
It was quite.
Well, I think was it 0-1? Was it in the end the next two sets, or was it 0-0 to love both sets?
0-1 for Alcaraz, right?
No, I'm talking about Swiatek Noskova.
Oh no, yeah. So 2-4, 15-40 to 6-4, 6 love.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6-4, 6 love. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, sorry. I'm just kind of. Oh, Wozniacki's.
Yeah, she has not dropped the set yet.
Wozniacki had love 15 there, but again, it felt like a bit of a soft point from Iga. That it feels more like she's getting points from Swiatek's mistakes.
Absolutely.
Doing good stuff, but it's more.
Never has there been a match, Kira, that this is an appropriate phrase. It's on her racket. I mean, whatever happens, Wozniacki can go on and win this match in one way, right? But there's never been a match more on one player's racket in the history of mankind.
I want to ask something controversial. But has Wozniacki ever had a match on her racket? Like, I mean, every match, every match I've seen her, she's like she's battling. Like she's always in a slugfest. Like I've never. I mean, all of the matches I remember. What was it? The Australian Open final 2018. Then there's some matches I'm forgetting too. I mean, her US Open final run to 2009 as well. I'm pretty sure there were a few if I'm not mistaken, some deciding sets. Yeah, I mean, doesn't seem like a player to plays on her own terms, like ever.
Uritsky's saying that Wozniacki has lost 6 previous times at this stage of the Indian Wells tournament. Which I wasn't aware. At least that's what I understand. 7th quarterfinal defeat for Wozniacki in this tournament loading. Yeah, it's quite possible.
Swiatek's got set point, so we could be seeing that quite soon. Lovely forehand to set it up as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's won Indian Wells, hasn't she?
Who, Wozniacki?
She's done it with an ace.
There you go.
Lovely.
Wow.
I think this is a perfect time, Kira, for you to tell us about an article you wrote about Iga for Popcorn.
Yes, that was, I think, last week. I can't really remember. Yeah, it was. I've been wanting to write it for a while. I think. Oh, sorry, just really quickly. Wozniacki's got the trainer out here.
Oh, okay. Good interruption.
Oh, Twitter's gonna be so much fun now. I'm gonna log in now. See.
She's pointing at her toe, which might be to do with all the drilling that they did in it before, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible. Oh, yeah, she's pointing at it, but I don't know that the trainer's actually doing anything other than talking to her for now. Anyway, so I'll carry on. I'll let you know if she does anything. Yeah, so I think Iga Swiatek as an introvert is something that obviously is talked about, and she's talked about it, but I think it's one of her biggest strengths on court, that sort of mentality. And I just sort of wanted to write about it and how much she places that sort of power in her small team. And, you know, I was really struck by how important they were in her final against Rybakina in Doha and how much they helped her to turn that around. And I think that was really important. And that sort of quiet reflection on her game, even during points and during matches and all of that is really key to how she wins.
Yeah, right. And any updates on the Wozniacki toe?
She's got a shoe off, and the trainer is digging around in a bag for something.
The reason I'm asking you is my feed has gone to a break. So, I see. I've got a back now. Yeah.
Oh gosh, they've got a close up on the toe. I didn't need that.
All right. Well, that's good heads up for me to convert my eyes.
Yeah, that looks painful.
Well, now I'm glad I don't have a broadcast for the WTA feed. I didn't need to see that either.
Oh, sorry, I can't stop looking at it now. It's quite swollen by the looks of things. I'm by no means any sort of medical expert, but it looks like quite swollen, quite discoloured, and she seems to be getting some sort of treatment. I couldn't tell if it was more bandaging or some sort of ointment.
People sometimes drop in the chat and say, are we allowed to, can we show the match or whatever? Can we show the screen? First of all, I'd like to say that you're probably quite pleased that we're not showing this match right now. And secondly, I often say that we try and, show the colors and we show our words are bringing the match to life. Well, you certainly brought her toe to life in a way, Kira. Although perhaps
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. By the way, what's happening with Casper Ruud and Tommy Paul?
Oh yeah, well, Tommy Paul has another break point for fight too. So yeah, he's harassing Ruud. I mean, for lack of a better word. Okay, he saved it. So it's deuce.
I like that, harassing Ruud.
You like seeing Ruud being harassed? Or you like
no, I just like the way you. I like the way you termed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amusing.
Yeah. Okay, is official medical timeout now for Wozniacki.
Okay.
I won't describe her toe anymore. Don't worry, it's very much covered. Everyone's safe from toe descriptions, but it sort of looks like she's just putting like plastering and bandaging on it rather than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, there were 1 or 2 points where I don't think she would have got her racket on it, or if she had, it wouldn't have been with any real purpose. But there were 1 or 2 points where I was like, oh, she's just sort of letting that one go towards the end of that first set.
Definitely. Can she bring Rafa's foot back to life?
No. Novak Djokovic might be out of the tournament, but his spirit still lives in Tommy Paul because the way he's been playing so far. I mean, he's returning amazingly. He's hit, I don't know, I've lost count of how many backhand down the line winners he's hit. And yeah, like, I mean, also the way he's moving Ruud, side to side. Ruud doesn't have an answer right now. It's great to watch, really. And if he is to keep up this level, Medvedev or Rune would be very interesting. Or even, Alcaraz or Sinner, whoever, because I mean, we know that he plays very well. I mean, he matches up very well against Alcaraz.
That's a really good point.
Decently well against Sinner also. And of course, he's 2-0 against Zverev. That would be hilarious if Zverev beats Alcaraz and Sinner, only to lose in the final to anybody, really.
Is that banana that Iga just brought onto court?
Yes.
It was a very straight banana. There was no curve in that banana from what I could see.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, there you go. That's the sort of
Wanda
insight.
doesn't miss, does she?
Don't miss out on those insights. Oh yeah, Wanda, yeah.
Yeah. Right, Tommy Paul's going to serve for the first set.
Toes and bananas, that's what we're here for.
Just no. This bring. Oh God.
Anyway, we are underway again. I'll be backstage, but I'll be coming forward and coming back again, and probably joining the live chat as well.
All right, sounds good. Tommy Paul serving for the first set. Casper Ruud's won 2 games, but only one of them was a service hold.
Yeah. Wozniacki tries a lob against Iga. I think she's probably, if she's struggling with her toe, then she might be trying different things, but it doesn't work out. And Swiatek's already got 15-30 on Wozniacki's serve here. Tommy Paul 30 love up, is he? Or not yet?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's a bit behind it. Wait, no, not yet.
Oh no, I won't. I'll keep my Tommy Paul. I'll turn my score off.
Now he is okay. No, when Ruud hit that lob, I thought, okay, it's going long. Yeah, it's 30 love. But no, there were like 5 more shots after, and then Ruud drop shots into the net. And, well,
got a break point for Iga here in the first game of the second set. Exchanging some cross-court forehands. But as soon as Iga tries to find the angle, it is a bit like Wozniacki gives up trying to get there, and Swiatek gets the break immediately.
Serve and volley.
She's gone to the net. She's retiring.
Oh, shame.
Wozniacki's stopped. They're having a nice hug and chat at the net, but this isn't going to continue. And Swiatek through to the semis.
Well, that's a shame considering how the match started. John's back quicker than he thought he'd be.
Hello.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I didn't expect a retirement, I have to say, when that was all happening. But yeah, her movement is clearly restricted. I'm actually just watching the final point of the match as it turns out.
She totally gives up in it. I don't know if you'll agree, but
yeah, but yeah. I wonder if that retirement was with 100% conviction? The reason why I ask is she chose a funny angle to walk. When she finished that last point, she walks back towards her chair, and even Iga was surprised. So Iga's walking back towards her chair as well, and it's only when they get to where the umpire's chairs. My thoughts are, if you're going to retire and you're just convinced by it, you kind of walk towards the net. Does that make sense? And to say, look,
Yeah.
you get your opponent's attention somehow. In fact, they are probably aware of the fact that you're walking towards the net rather than your chair. Anyway, either way, whatever. Iga is through to third consecutive Indian Wells semi-final, Kira, I'd say.
Yeah. Impressive. I mean, it was a really nice comeback in the first set. You don't know how much Wozniacki was feeling the foot then. I would say, obviously, she was feeling it, but I also think Iga was in the latter stages of the first set just quite dominant anyway. Foot or no foot. So
yeah, I listen. I was kind of surprised to see the score at 4-1, and that's pretty much when I tuned in. So I'm kind of, there'll be some conjecture about the foot today and the toe, but I think Iga's winning that match 9 times out of 10, and that's being polite, I think.
The toe talk was warranted. I like that from Sean. Yeah, exactly. If she retired from the toe, then it was worth.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was very warranted. That's for sure. And I guess it was just a case of she probably could have done with a few days rest, and then it would have been okay. It doesn't look like a serious thing. It's just constant, and then you just need to give it a break, and then you're fine. And the banana, by the way, conversation was relevant too, because she had a mouthful of banana as she clapped off the court. Just going to listen to Iga's words. Just a second.
As I said yesterday, 2 days ago, huge respect for her, and I'm sad that we had to, finish that way. But I hope she's going to be, recovering, and she's going to be ready for Miami.
I hope so too, and we all do. That's pretty incredible for you to say, right? You have a lot of respect for Caroline, but let's talk a little bit about your game, how well you've been playing, how confident you are to come back to Indian Wells, being a former champion from here. First set, she broke out early. She was up 4-1. Things started to click in for you. How did you change things up?
Honestly, I just wanted to, hit the ball more clean, honestly. Because, it wasn't easy. I had many chances, but with her defense, she's kind of putting pressure on the opponents because you're, playing the forehand, backhand everywhere. She's running a lot and giving everything back. So sometimes I made mistakes. I couldn't really finish the rally, but then I wanted to really just stay patient and calm and try to be more solid. And at the end, I think in second set, I don't know. I just felt like I can go for it, but I wanted to also, implement some stuff in the second set, but didn't get a chance. So maybe next time.
We'll talk a little bit, and I'll let you go, by the way, through the semis. Congratulations. The weather's been tricky. We call it tennis paradise here, but every once in a while, you get thrown a twist. If wind picks up, it gets sandy. What kind of adjustments at your level of tennis do you have to make?
Well, honestly, with my game, I think I can play, any conditions, because I can spin the ball a lot, and it's helping, when it's cold, when it's hot. But for sure, we're working on the tension in terms of the strings, but yeah, today was tricky because I have to put a lot of power myself. So you have to balance if you want this ball, to fly a little bit faster, or you want more control. And I was actually changing, during the set, my rackets a little bit. So it worked.
That's the secret, right? You can play well in any condition. I think we all are very well aware of that. Congratulations to the semis.
There we go. Another one of those on-court interviews. Sometimes they garner some good stuff, sometimes less so. I can see her now saying something to the crowd as well. In kind of, I'm just looking at the images rather than listening to what she's saying, but in kind of eager fashion in that, the way you were talking about in terms of her being a bit shy, or what was the word you used, Kira, to describe her?
Introverted.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay, if we're okay, I know Shrihari definitely is. We can probably see out or follow through with Casper Ruud against Tommy Paul. I mean, Casper
Yeah.
Ruud should remember his opponent more than Casper, given how things are going, right, Shuhui?
Yeah, I mean, Tommy Paul did close out that first set, but Casper's just held for 1-0, and he's been ahead in a set for the first time in this match. But yeah, the way it's going, I don't know if we'll be here for much longer, to be honest. Yeah, by the way, in the
Go on, Shuhui.
previous set, I think the 28 out of 29 serves were gotten back into play by Tommy Paul. So basically, only one serve was unreturned. That's very Djokovic.
Despite the scoreline, sorry, just quickly, despite the scoreline being quite close between Iga and Caroline, it was 55 points on Wozniacki's serve compared to 27 on Iga's. So more than double on Caroline's serve. I mean, there was one or two of those very lengthy juice games, which probably explains that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Shahu, what were you saying?
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, that was pretty much it, really. I mean, Tommy Paul was just returning amazingly well, I should say, in that first set. The only question is, does he keep that up? Easier to do, obviously, in the best of three, but he's just got
We've
15.
got Yuan Goff to come and Zachary Navarro. Two Americans, a Greek and a Chinese. And we obviously got one semi-final confirmed, which is Iga against Kostyuk. What are your thoughts? Who's winning those two other matches?
The quarters, sorry.
Yeah, the quarters with Coco and Maria.
I think Coco quite comfortably. I feel she's got better and better as the tournament's gone on, and I think that's, as I was saying earlier, I think she often does that. That's sort of how she works in tournaments. She builds up her game and matches the level that she needs to at certain times. So I feel that Coco is quite comfortable there. The other one I struggle with, I sort of would really like to see Zachary get the win over Navarro, and I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
The level that Zachary brings, I think she's been good so far, but Navarro to beat Sabalenka, she'll be coming in with bags of confidence. So I think I'm going to go with a Coco Gauff Emma Navarro semi-final if I had to pick.
Certainly the semi-final that Nick Nick is favouring, at least in terms of what he would like to see. Yeah, I don't know. I think of the four, the one that I would probably be most confident about making the semis probably would be Coco. I don't think Coco is playing anywhere near the level that she was producing back in August, September last year. But I don't think she has to at the moment because...
Exactly. It's like she's matching her level with where it has to be rather than dominating like we see from Swiatek and Sabalenka on her day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Australia was the same. I mean, Coco made the semis there, but she was pushed in her quarter by... Was it Kostyuk she played in the quarterfinals in Australia? I think it was Kostyuk. And then, you know, she sort of forced her way through. And that was that. I just haven't seen anything from Coco since then that suggests that she's Coco hasn't lost in the US since Miami last year. Okay, I mean, I'm guessing that's because this is the first tournament since the US Open in the US, I guess, that she's played anyway. Because she didn't play San Diego either in September last year or in February this year. Maria is an interesting one though. I don't know. Again. Her draw's not been too bad. She beat Garcia in straight sets. I guess that was the standout result for me.
Yes, I think that was. Just quickly, Casper Ruud's managed to break really early in this set break up Tommy Paul's momentum.
Yeah. Is that going to be the turning point, much like we saw a turning point in the previous match? I'm actually going to now switch over to Tommy Paul against Casper Ruud.
It's very possible. I think I'd be surprised if Casper didn't have
I think both of you had Casper a slight favourite, right? Before this match
I did, yeah. I just thought consistency-wise, I expected him to, especially after his win against Monfils. I only watched the back end of that, but I was quite impressed by his level.
Yeah, I saw different takes on that Casper Ruud Monfils match, Shrihari. One was Monfils was way on top, and that was a straight sets win for him. But then there was a kind of a collapse. My take was actually a little bit more that Casper really did raise his level. There were some sumptuous volleys from him at the
I
net.
agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. What about that?
Yeah,
Shrihari?
I mean, he stepped it up in the tiebreaker. He was really good at the net. He was blasting quite a few winners. Yeah, he was clutch. He raised his level. Monfils had his chances as well at 4-all, or 3-all. I'm not sure, but he did have breakpoints. I do remember, or from what I recall, it was probably at 4-all because would have had a chance to serve for the match. And yeah, it was Monfils was all over him up until that point. Of course, in the tiebreaker, Casper Ruud, went several notches higher with this level. And the third set, it was just one break, but it was decisive. And yeah, he was really clutch closing it out. And I would say Holger Rune's win, obviously, was against Fritz, was of a very similar nature.
Shrihari, are we going to get our first three-setter of the day here?
Probably. Well, I'm not too surprised by this because I think, it was only a matter of either if Tommy Paul keeps up that level, probably wins in straight sets. But if he does have a dip in the level, you'd have expected a sharp, steep, obviously. But yeah, he is somebody who doesn't really have a stable level really, and it fluctuates quite a bit. But then with Ruud, he tends to hang in for long enough before he can make the first move, and which is exactly what he's done so far here. So yeah, potentially, I mean, if Ruud can keep it together, all he needs to do really is hold serve 3 more times now.
I mean, Ruud is probably with Acapulco in this particular tournament as well, putting those two tournaments together, maybe playing his best tennis for quite a while, at least on a hard court.
Yeah, he has more wins on hard courts this year already than he did last year.
More wins or more wings? I heard wings when you first said
wins, match wins.
But you've got to understand that I spend a lot of time with Vanch, who basically spends 50% of his time talking about both wings. That's all he talks about.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, yeah, he does mention.
Very good on both wings.
He does say that word.
Kiddo, I hope you don't have too much self-doubt when it comes to tennis commentary, but I must send you the dossier of tennis phrases and expressions that basically can get you out of any sort of bad situation, because the viewers are like, yeah. Both wings is a good one. Matchup, talk about matchup, depth on the ATP side, depth on the WTA side, but also depth in terms of shots. What other sort of jargon can you just throw out there? To sound like, go on.
My specialty usually is really clearly just toes, so I definitely need the jargon on the actual tennis.
Next time we have a toe injury at some point, which could be any time between now and Christmas, we'll wheel you in as our toe expert.
It's terrible. Oh dear. I like off both wings though. That's a good one.
Yeah. And honestly, there's a kind of a competition going on between a few of us. There's how long will it be? Which will happen first, basically? Vanch says off both wings. I mention my book, or Damien says it doesn't matter.
I want to go with Damien here.
It doesn't matter. But Damien started this when I think Dan Evans broke Carlos Alcaraz in second or third. I think it was probably third set last year. And Jack was like, oh, this could be a match. It doesn't matter. It's all irrelevant. Carlos is winning this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I mean, it's better to say that about a match than a player, which Damien does.
That too.
Yeah, I mentioned, Sonego, does play some, electrifying tennis. I mean, there's never a dull moment when he's on course. Like, he's an irrelevant player, like flat out. Like, I was like, okay, and then I thought, okay, you know what? I disagree. He does bring quite a lot, to tennis, and he said, I think the opposite. I think he brings absolutely nothing to tennis, like with a straight face. I was like, okay, why you gotta be so savage? But anyway.
Just one thing to address someone in the chat. Hi, Steetsy Smith. Do hit the subscribe button, by the way, below the screen, and you'll get the pleasure of seeing the number tick over and know that that's you, and you can do a little dance. But more importantly, you want to know what happened between Iga and Caroline. Well, Caroline unfortunately wasn't able to complete the match due to a toe injury, so Iga does go through to the semi-final, where she will play Marta Kostyuk, who won in straight sets earlier on today, 6-love, 7-5 against Potapova. Damien, I'm looking at Nick talking about Damien. Nick actually is familiar with Potapova, because Potapova, by the way, and Damien, actually, they do have some things in common in that they don't pull any punches. If you listen to this interview that Nick did with Potapova last year in Birmingham, she just says it as it is. She was complaining about, let's say, very, very bad draws that she was getting. And she used an expletive, which, by the way, I don't think... I'm going to take a risk. She said... Oh, it's not even a risk. She said, I just keep getting really shit draws. And that's why I'm not, going further in some of these tournaments. But it was very funny. It was very funny because it's also had her Russian accent as well. So it was kind of just very, very direct, much like man of this parish, Damien. Back to the present. I'm just watching Casper Ruud put away a smash. But it is in fact 3-1. Shuhui.
Sorry, what was that? I was just following something.
I'm just returning to the present and Casper Ruud against Tommy Paul.
Okay, yeah. I see that Tommy Paul just held. The dynamics of WTA Twitter is so interesting. Like,
what on Twitter?
WTA Twitter. It's filled with fans.
I see.
So basically, what they've been doing, this is their modus operandi. Basically, there's a player they don't like, or they want to throw shade at a player. They would just put an embedded video of a match point of that player losing.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So if I don't like Wozniacki, I guess I just show her retiring or losing a match.
Yeah, I mean, if you're cruel enough, you probably show one of her retiring. But especially when Halep announced her return, there were quite a few people, sharing embedded tweets of her losing in Madrid, her losing in Indian Wells and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just weird, but that's fine. That people
it's
can
odd.
do that.
I don't know why they do it, but it's odd.
Yeah, I just ignore.
I mean, there are more creative ways of throwing shade, in my opinion. Like, that's all I want to say.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, at least be creative. Come on now.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, indeed, Jane. Indeed. Nick says he'd love to see Damien interview.
Okay,
I just don't think it would work.
Yeah.
I mean, Damien probably wouldn't ask any questions. He would just go, or maybe he would. He might go, "What on earth happened against? What on earth happened in that first set? I mean, you didn't even show up." He might say that. Yeah, that's true. And then Potapova would just walk away, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting because the people I talk to on such a regular basis are the people I've done watch-alongs the least with. Like Bunch, I've never done a watch-along with Bunch, I don't think.
How about that? That's like one of those Godfather movies when I think there's no scene between like the two main protagonists or something.
Yeah, true. Mario, I don't think we've done once. I've done quite a bit with Damien, quite a few with Nick, actually. Obviously, we co-host the Popcorn Tennis podcast as well. But yeah, Nick, I did a few with Jack, several on Talking Tennis. But yeah, not many with the usual suspects, if you want to put it that way.
Kira's running through us right now. She's done one with Jerome. She's now obviously shared this platform with you and I. Who were you on with yesterday? You were on with Nick, Akshata,
and Jethro.
Jethro. Oh, you got Jethro already. That's a difficult one. That's a rare one to tick off.
A rare collectible item.
Off your bingo card. That's a trickier one to come across.
That is what I'm trying to do at the moment. Just got a bingo card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Damien and Vanch are quite easy, so it's kind of surprising, Shrihu, that you and Vanch have.
Yeah, because I was AWOL for a while also, so
you do.
I think since what US Open quarterfinals, Medvedev, Rublev, until like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, since last week I didn't do a watch along for. Jethro Street caught up yet.
No, that really got me. I think Jethro's still in the qualifying rounds, but this year's qualifying rounds now, maybe he's finally got 2024.
Yeah, and then for Ghosty, Miami's already begun. So,
just okay. Look at the
Casper Ruud as a game point.
Oh, it's Jethro Stream Club. Okay, so I'm actually slow to the comments as well. Cool. Yeah, just 10 subscribers from 6.5K. I mean, it's not the most biggest landmark. I mean, basically between now and 7K is nice, but it's like once you get to 5K, you can't just keep ticking off you don't go like, 12,000, 13,000. You got to get to sort of 15 or 20.
When does YouTube give you that plaque or whatever?
Oh, I think it's 100,000. I think there's a plaque at 100,000. I think there might be another one at 1 million. I that could be, like, it might just be 1 million. But I think it's 100,000.
I think there's one at 100,000.
Yeah, we might be a couple of years away from that. But
oh yeah, because I listen regularly to this podcast called Star Talk. I think people have heard of it. The one that Neil deGrasse Tyson hosts. With Chuck Nice mainly and quite a few others. So what they did was they celebrated every time the number of subscribers increased by one order of magnitude. So once it was 100,000, and then it was 1 million, and then the next milestone, I don't know if they've gotten there, but it's 10 million.
Right, yeah.
The exponents of 10. That's actually, I found that to be pretty cool. So that is how I know that.
I mean, right now, I mean, what we got to 1,000, and that was possibly the biggest landmark we've had in so many ways. But then, 2,000 is pretty good. I guess you can do each one until 5,000, but between 5 and 10, you can't really. I mean, once you don't go to 100,000 and go, hey, 101,000, and go, hey, what a landmark. 117,000. 1 million and 2,000.
Yeah, that's also true. But I mean,
People should do that.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Sorry, Tommy Paul had a break back point there, but his forehand goes long. But he's fighting to break back against Casper here. I don't know if I'm ahead of you guys again.
You are, so I'm about to watch this point. But
I think you're 2 points ahead of me. Are you?
No, you and me.
No. Yeah, Casper Ruud is a game point now for me.
Yeah, exactly. I've still got the break point, so I'm actually just going to have a quick look at this to see if or what Tommy might have done better on this one. Well, that forehand was a fairly neutralish position. Decided to go probably a bit bigger than he needed to, especially towards Casper's backhand.
I haven't received a message from Mario, so that says it all, really.
He's gone quiet.
Yeah, he has. Before that, I was like, my man, he's glowing. Nothing.
Nick is saying breakpoint Paul, but I'm guessing that's the one that he's just missed.
No, he's just missed that one. Casper's just had a set point, but his forehand dragged wide, and we're back to deuce.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean game point, right?
Game point, yeah.
Right. Oh, gosh, yeah, not set point. Goodness.
I had to quickly look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, me too.
Imagine. Already
9 away from 6. I was thinking, let's see if we can get to 6,500 by the end of this epic day of streams. I think we should be fine with that because I think Zverev Alcaraz will be pretty popular.
Yeah,
anyway,
it will be.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stick to the tennis rather than numbers. Yeah, that forehand from Casper.
Both making a few errors now. Tommy's just dumped a forehand in the net and then sort of whacking himself on the head with his racket. So not very pleased with himself at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he had a chance there, but and there was a shake of the head from Ruud as well, which means even though he won the points, not particularly
Yeah.
pleased. But that was a odd looking serve. I wonder what the speed on that was. I was pretty sure it was like 138, 139 or something like that. It's really slow. Okay, well, he holds.
Yeah.
Strong.
Tommy goes for a forehand and it sort of hits off the edge of his racket and into the sky. And Casper holds for 4-1, which, as we were saying, scoreboard pressure-wise,
Yeah.
he will want to close this out quickly and get on with a third.
Just going to get some water.
Yeah, I don't know if either of you noticed this, but there's a comment saying that Coco Gauff hasn't lost in the US since. Oh, that's from Nick. Since Miami last year. That's bonkers if it's true.
Since Miami as well. So is that including like Cincinnati, I suppose?
Cincinnati. Before that, she won a title, right? It was a 500 or something.
Yeah, just before
Oh,
Cincinnati.
Washington,
So we had the
Washington.
two and then the
Yeah.
US.
Washington. And then she won Cincinnati.
Mm.
And then she won the US Open. And
Yeah.
this is the next tournament after the US Open in the US.
If she could win this, that's a ridiculous record in the US.
It would be, yeah.
Just watching Carlos do some keepy uppies with the football, and that's impressive. But when he does the over the, I don't know what there is I think there might be a word for it when you do a little flick up and then you lift your leg over it.
Oh, around the world.
Around the world, that's right. I heard somebody, or I saw somebody write that on Twitter the other day. Yeah, so he's quite adept at the round the worlds as well, which is
Yeah, he did 3 in a row. It's a bit ridiculous.
yeah. Good to know that the banana's shape has returned. Casper's bananas are looking like a more rudimentary shape that we would expect a banana to look like, unlike Iga's straight ones.
Surprised they didn't ask Iga about that in the post-match interview. It feels like an opportunity missed.
I know, yeah. Another funny thing is how they always have their ID strapped to their bag. Yeah.
Well, they might need it. I don't know.
Go on, Kira. Sorry.
I was only going to say that they might need it. I don't know if you guys have seen what they brought out with them all pretending to be staff at Indian Wells. But
that was brilliant.
Nobody knows who they are, apparently, so they need their ID.
That was brilliant. And I think everyone plays a funny role in it. I probably would go for Di Minor overall, but they all have some very fun. Runa with the towels hasn't been mentioned. When someone says so what's the difference between this towel and the hand towels? And he goes, well, the hand towels are for your hands. But overall, I think Di Minor ticks all the boxes. I mean, of course, Medvedev is great. Of course, Ons and Maria as well. And Maria as well, very smartly saying, what do you think of Maria Sakkari or something? Or make sure you watch Maria on Saturday or something, she said, which is funny too. They're all great, but I think Di Minor probably just gets it overall for consistency. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Nerland's in the chat.
Let's get back to talking about the match before he reprimands us.
Well, he doesn't mind. I think what he gets most annoyed about is that we don't recognize that he exists at all. Then all hell lets loose.
Thanks for the heads up.
Says Coco's in a 19 match. Oh.
It's good. It's good. One match against Iga, one match against Arena, I would say.
Well, yeah, I also mentioned something about winning ugly, and Damien was like, yeah, at some point you have to win beautifully as well, or something like that. It's priceless.
Got some break points here for Casper.
Oh, yeah, for 5-1.
I've never really cared about grunting. I mean, I think I don't even know who does and who doesn't. It feels like half the tour grunts, so that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I think the grunting has definitely come down, or unless I'm imagining things. I
Oh,
think the
that
only one
smash from Tommy Paul. Deary
what
me,
was
I've
that?
just seen.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
5-1, Casper Ruud.
Yeah, he's just managed to break. I think that was a poor game from Tommy more than a raising level from Casper.
Yeah, I mean, this whole set really.
Yeah.
Because Tommy Paul had a chance or two in the previous game, and then
I think I find grunting more frustrating the higher pitch it is. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess that can be
Well, he
annoying,
is
but I mean, Rublev's
more
is
annoying,
a little on the high pitched at times.
yeah, that can
oh,
definitely be.
Teams is a funny one.
no,
But he
teams
mocked-
and Zverev's grunts I can't stand.
Oh,
Sorry.
Zverev's is weird, and I'll tell you why. Often it feels like, and I was there in the stadium when he did his ankle in a couple of years ago in Paris, and it sounds like his grunt is almost like he's breaking his ankle every time, and it really sends
Yeah.
chills down my spine, Kira.
Yeah, not a fan.
So this is for you, Kira. How lucky was Iga today that Wozniacki retired? I mean, she literally just got out of jail. Go on, Kira. You can address that one.
That's a
Right,
strong.
sorry, Kira. Just before you take this too seriously, try not to take anything Nerland says ever that
Okay.
seriously.
Okay. I won't take it too seriously, but I disagree. I don't think she was unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did get out of jail, and I think she would have stayed there quite comfortably. Whatever.
Yeah.
Retirement or no
She had
retirement.
the keys. She had the keys. Boom.
Absolutely.
There you go, Nerland. Back in your box.
I like how I want to say something. I don't know if it's appropriate.
Depends. Well,
I don't know. See, yeah, we were talking about Zverev, and there was a comment about jail. I just found that funny.
From who's written about Zverev?
Oh no, we were talking about Zverev, and then there was a comment about getting out of jail. I just found. That
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can see where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want people hounding me for whatever reason. I mean, it has happened before. Literally, I mean, obviously, John knows about this on the Novak Weekly podcast. There was a mob on the comments.
Oh, yeah.
My God, like,
Yikes.
Greg is asking us, and I think this is Greg Carter of our parish. Oh, we've got a breakback point here, should we?
yeah, it was a double fall, was it? No.
Hasn't happened for me yet, even.
Not even for you. That's because I've got the TNNS score on the screen. I mean, I'm actually 30
not double
old.
fall. It was a second serve and drop shot return ish from Tommy Paul, draws Ruud to the net and then passes him. He has the entire
Passed
court.
on the line, yeah.
He just needed to scoop it back. Interesting.
But Ruud does a really great serve out wide that Paul can't return, so it's juice.
Kira, for me, it feels as though on the men's side, there are 4 sort of, players that feel like they've got a really good chance of winning this title. Probably in this order: Sinner, Alcaraz, Medvedev, Zverev. Am I being unfair to either of these 2 players on our screen right now, or anyone else that's left in the draw? Because there's only 7 left right now.
I don't think you're being unfair, seeing the level of this match and how it's changed. Both of them obviously have had a set each of dominance, but I feel like that wouldn't be enough against Rune or Medvedev in the next
Rune,
round.
that's one of the players I'm missing. Yeah.
I think you're right. I probably wouldn't personally put Zverev in the mix. I think it's between.
No, maybe you're right. Yeah.
Just because I don't see Zverev beating Carlos and likely Jannik Sinner. Oh no, it
Yeah.
would be Alex. He's won,
It
hasn't
would
he?
be
So
Alex
I don't see him beating both of those players.
And then whoever is in the final, whether Medvedev, for example, that would be a hell of a back-to-back for someone who in Grand Slams at least used to struggle against top 10 players. I mean, it was many years before he got his first top 10 win. Who was his first top 10 win at a slam against? Was it Carlos maybe last year? Yeah. Or 2022. So yeah, I mean, I know slam is different, 5 sets, 3 sets and all that, but still, yeah, to beat those 3 back-to-back, I think.
I don't really see it.
Go on, Shahui.
That was an excellent backhand pass from Tommy Paul. Forced the error from Casper Ruud at the net. Volley goes long and break back point after having saved a set point.
There was also an excellent backhand return from him a couple of points ago that ended up setting up a point win. I mean, he really attacked it, sort of Holger Rune-esque.
Yeah, I mean, returning has been amazing.
I love seeing Holger and Casper when they're inside the baseline and they're returning potentially a kick serve, but any kind of pacey serve when they're sort of flinging themselves in the air to do so. It's just wonderful to watch. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Set point. I mean, each time I switch tabs, like Tennis TV does this weird thing where it goes 10 seconds back.
That's very annoying.
Okay, now it's a set point for Casper.
Jake is laughing about something, but I don't know what. It could be anything from about half a dozen.
Probably the Damien comment.
Probably Dave.
Okay, yeah.
Ruud on a second serve on set point here.
I think you might have some.
Paul at the net goes wide. So
there we go.
We're going to a decider.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are indeed.
He closes it out eventually, so we have a deciding set.
I went into this match, Kira, thinking Casper would win. I think you were the same.
Yeah.
And now with that momentum, it's Casper who's the favourite.
I think so. I haven't got the volume on, obviously, so I don't know how much the sort of American crowd are getting behind Tommy Paul.
Yeah.
That would be a factor in the third set, but I don't think that tends to get to Casper anyway. So I would be more inclined to suggest that Casper will take the third.
And I don't know, but probably there are many examples where this has happened in Indian Wells, but I think more of New York and I think of Paris as well as being quite difficult away grounds to go to, if you like, Kira.
And Australia, I think.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, the Kyrgios. Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. I mean, I know that there was a funny relationship, wasn't there, Shahui, between Indian Wells and Serena for a while?
Oh, yeah. And I think there was an incident which involved, Serena and Venus didn't go there for many years because some racist comment hurled towards them. And of course, Serena and Madrid. Was it Madrid?
So
the tournament.
Just quickly with Serena and Indian Wells, that racism, was it coming from members of the crowd or? I
think so, yeah. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, I think this happened, 2001, 2? I was like 1 or 2 years old. So, but I did learn about it 2 years ago when, I mean, obviously that Osaka incident took place and she mentioned it. And I was like, okay, this happened.
The Osaka thing with Serena in New York or another?
No. When somebody from the crowd shouted something towards Osaka in the match she lost in Indian Wells, and then I think she was talking about it, and that was also when she, she opened up about her mental struggles at that point, and I think she broke down as well talking about it. And yeah, soon after she made the Miami final, of course, but this happened 2 years ago at Indian Wells.
Okay.
Nick just said the crowd's not really into it for Tommy Paul, so they're not going to help him. He'll have to do it on his own if he's going to.
I wonder what they were like in the first set. I mean, with that display from Tommy Paul.
Yeah.
What is he doing now at the net? I don't get it. Like, it made sense in the first set, but now it's like he's charging to the net every single point.
Yeah.
I mean, taking away the element of surprise, really.
Okay. So Nick is just sort of fleshing out this. Serena had versus withdrawal, was that? Versus Venus in the semis. People in the crowd thought it was a fix and took things too far. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
A walkover. I mean, when it's a walkover, did they actually both take the court then still? Or
did they kind of take it over into her next match?
Yeah, I was going to say, did they react in the next match? Yeah, maybe. I know that there's been some issues, but I don't know all the ins and outs of it.
I remember Federer was skipping Miami every now and then because he had a fallout with IMG.
Okay.
It's funny because there was the exhibition, obviously, which is the tournament, which is now WTA 500 in Abu Dhabi. It used to be an exhibition, and 2011 we had the big three, participating, and that was the last time Federer played because I think IMG dropped him, and then they made a statement saying that they're looking to focus on younger prospects, and Federer didn't take kindly to those comments. And yeah.
What year was that, more or less?
2012.
The reason I'm laughing is he had
just
a decade of success.
Just
More to
30.
come. Yeah.
He just turned 30.
I mean, I don't have a big problem with the philosophy. It just didn't work out, I guess.
Yeah, and that's how the sport has changed so much since. And I mean, to be fair, Federer has been dealing with retirement questions ever since 2008, really. When I think that was the first year, first time in 10 slams or 11 slams that he didn't make the final at the Australian Open. And then, of course, he lost the number one ranking in that Wimbledon final, later that year. And then, of course, the press was like, "Oh, Federer's done. Time to hang up the racket." Whatnot. he was 27, so it's been since then. And yeah, of course, he eventually retired when he was 41. Yeah, 41.
Yeah, he officially. Yeah.
You'll be behind me, so I may as well say it. But Tommy Paul on Casper Ruud's first point of his service game does a lovely backhand down the line winner.
Yeah. I'm just watching Casper bounce the ball, so I'm about to watch it.
Make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah. And in fact, things get even better for Tommy Paul by the looks of things. 1 hour, 20 minutes, 27 minutes on the clock, Kira. There you go. I'm watching this point now, and we're on the backhand for there. That's lovely. That is lovely. That is the kind of shot you will never see me pull off, that's for sure. Not with any modicum of success, anyway.
Oh, luck 30 now. That was another really good point from Tommy Paul. Yeah, I mean, he's I don't know if that was a second serve, but yeah, I saw him stepping in for the return, just taking initiative, pulling the trigger on the ground strokes. There was forehand inside out, forcing the lob, and then there was an overhead from the baseline that he put away. Okay, it's just missed the forehand. Dumped it into the net. It's 15-30. Wait, Nick, you wrote this? It's so hard to believe. Wow. Yeah, it was the first year since he became a slam champion where he didn't win a slam. So I guess it was not even like it was a bad year really for him. He ended pretty well, winning Bercy in the ATP finals.
Tommy Paul at the net again at 30 all, but it's just sort of easy for Ruud to hit a passing forehand for game point. Again, like you say, just coming to the net constantly now, it sort of feels like Ruud's got the measure of that and he needs to try something else.
Yeah.
That's very good, Nick. Nick has just sent me a tweet from Bastian, which I'll share on the screen in a minute. What channel is this Federer documentary going to be on? Is it on Amazon? Is it going to be on Amazon?
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, so Vanch is there today. Yeah, so you're not going to be on. You're not going to be on his streams of Vanch today.
64, yeah. That's a pretty good record, I would say. Just think about it, that's for someone like Daniil Medvedev, that's career best numbers. And it was also something similar was what Djokovic's win-loss record in 2012 was, and he finished number 1. Granted, the competition was so packed amongst the top that year. It was like 65 and 12 or something for the year. Nice to reminisce these seasons. Yeah.
Just trying to get this tweet right. Yeah.
What a passing shot from Casper Ruud. Forehand down the line. 15 all.
Was he sort of making those? Obviously, he probably wasn't making those kinds of shots in the first set. Was he attempting them and just not making them, and now he is? Or
Yeah, I mean, and I think Tommy Paul was also better at the net, and with the forecourt game in the first set. Here, he's actually giving a lot of space for Ruud. I mean, he did give space, but again, Ruud was in a pretty difficult position. It was, still. It was a really good effort, obviously, to hit that running forehand on the line winner. But yeah, ace from Tommy Paul, and it's 30-15. Carlos Bernardes is saying something to Casper Ruud. I can't really tell what it is.
Someone else who's disagreeing with Nerlan is Damien, basically. So yeah, Nerlan's fighting a lone battle.
Second serve, 30 all.
Tommy Paul's gone long on that forehand that he ran around. So we've got a break point for Casper here.
2 sloppy points from 30-15.
Here's the Bastian tweet that I wanted to show.
I like that.
Well, is it going to be 2 games in a row where the attempt to break just isn't happening?
Yeah, Casper Ruud went long on the backhand, and then
Sort of felt like he was trying to go too big with that one.
yeah.
Although I think they kind of both were. They didn't need to.
Yeah, and Casper, I mean, it's not his strongest shot, of course, but if only he changed the grip on the backhand. It always looks like he's getting jammed up. A little bit like Felix. We have Greg here with us.
Yeah,
Hello,
he was in. He popped in earlier, and I was basically just beginning to say hi to him, and I think something happened, so I stopped.
Well, sorry about that, Greg.
Yeah, sorry, Greg.
Yeah, again, Tommy Paul there had game
yeah,
point.
there was
He sort
no
of
need to.
just more than he needs to. Again, like he could have played a really kind of solid shot down the line there, backhand down the line, and won the point, but he had to go for it. It's a bit.
He wanted to go for one of those line-licking backhands, but
Yeah,
just
it's just unnecessary.
yeah.
You know what I'm doing? Can you hear what I'm doing?
I can
People.
hear it, but I don't know.
Don't know what it is. Okay. Any ideas? Anyone in the live chat? Maybe somebody knows what I'm doing. Maybe they recognize this noise.
Nice point that Tommy Paul finishes off with the volley at the net.
Can you hear what I'm doing, Kira?
I think I know what is that. Okay, are
I can
you
hear a noise, but I don't know.
You don't know what it
doing
is?
something on the Mac? Is it?
Yes. But what can you be?
Are you clearing trash or are you?
Yeah.
Are you moving?
The
Are you
game
doing it?
set query.
I don't know why I know it. I don't even use a Mac, but
There you go.
I use it occasionally for work, obviously. But anyway.
What's more annoying, a grunt or this noise?
Oh, grunt for sure.
Yeah, grunt. I'm going grunt.
Yeah.
God, both players are so cagey. So cagey. Ruud was actually lucky that backhand clipped the line. Thought it was going wide. And obviously there was an apology towards the end. Back to deuce.
It kind of feels like they've both had a set each where they've played really well and dominant and good tennis, and now this third set is sort of like they've both strangely dropped their level.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Got another break point.
Yeah, nice overhead from Casper. Good angle. Gets the break point.
Yeah.
I think if Zverev makes it to the final somehow, any one of these players in the top half can beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Maybe not Tommy Paul if he gets through. Sorry,
He's
Tommy Paul.
2-0 against Zverev. I like it.
I suppose so. I just sort of think of in a final situation of a Masters. Is he
Yeah.
going to have
Yeah, I guess we can hope.
the bottle maybe? Oh, yeah. I'd be
Nice
rooting for him.
ace down the tee.
Jake, I was tempted as well, but I just thought I've got a long weekend ahead and a long night of tennis as well. And I thought if I start getting the beers in, and by the time we get to Medvedev Ruud, it could be a mess. Medvedev Runa. I mean, I'm saying Medvedev Ruud right now. Imagine what it would be like after some beers. It's too many waters. Ruud
We have
Runa is a
three
tricky one.
Ruuds in the top 10. Rublev.
I know,
Rublev.
Rublev, yeah.
It's a
Then you got
Story
Tatiana
coming
Maria.
as well.
Tatiana Maria against Maria Sakkari. Sorry, Kira.
Oh, you said Rusevori coming through as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Russo, yeah.
Jane likes Shevchenko's grunt. I haven't paid any
Yeah,
attention.
Shevchenko's grunt is very similar to Felix's grunt.
Big hold that from Tommy Paul.
Yep. Could be crucial. Yeah, well, while we're talking about grunts, there's Carlos Burlock. You remember Carlos Burlock, John?
I don't know.
So yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was a 2011 U.S. Open. It was second round. Yeah, playing Djokovic. 6-love, 6-love, 2-love, and then he breaks Djokovic. Finally wins the game, and he raises his arms aloft.
Okay.
But his grunt, yeah, it's insane. Oh yeah, there was another incident where Murray, I think, was playing on one of the outside courts, and he could hear Burlock grunt so loudly, and he was complaining to the chair umpire. Yeah, Burlock retired a few years ago, but yeah.
Okay, nice, cool. Nick here arguing, are both players playing well at the same time? I think 2 games ago, I certainly would have said no when they were both shaking their heads after every point, basically. I mean, as you said, Kira, Casper even won a point and he shook his head. Maybe in that last game, we saw a slightly high level from both, and Tommy did great to hold on.
Yeah. Might actually dip out over the next changeover.
Jake is very familiar, by the way, Shuhuri.
All right. Classic short trip, yeah.
Where are you from originally, Kira?
So near sort of Coventry area,
that's
Midlands.
right, yeah, Coventry,
Midlands.
yeah. And do you where are you're studying in London?
No, so Cheltenham.
Cheltenham, okay.
Yeah. But I can't be there this week with the races on. It's a step too far for me.
Okay. I studied journalism in London. I think your course is sports journalism, am I right?
Yeah.
What about the dynamic in terms of male to female? Is it mostly guys, or is it 50-50 or?
So we've got 40 men just under 40 men, and I think there's 8 women.
Okay.
So
Okay.
nowhere near 50-50, but the third years have got 3 women amongst 40 men. So they're increasing. I don't know whether it's a big development point of theirs. They're really keen to get more women on board, and they're doing a lot for it.
Curiously, journalism courses actually tend to be much more skewed the other way. I'm just trying to think, my master's was 80, and I think it was like probably 60-40 women to men, maybe 70-30, something like that.
Yeah.
Also, the journalism course in London was mostly women as well.
Yeah, the straight journalism course at my university is mostly women as well, but it's the sports journalism where it switches.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, Greg's from Cheltenham. Amazing. It's very nice.
And wait for this as well. Sorry, Kira, to cut you off, but we've got Nick living in Stoke, and Jerome is a Stoke City fan. I saw Jerome complaining on Twitter today about a goalkeeper not being in the England squad, and I'm just going to check to see.
Jack Butland.
Yeah, exactly. You saw the tweet, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
and
he's
I'm
right. He's right.
Maybe he's right, but I'm just checking who he's playing for. I'm guessing he's playing for Stoke right now. I'm not sure. I'm still just checking actually. Jack Butland. Who does he play for right now? I can see a picture of him with. Oh, maybe he's Glasgow Rangers. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Yeah, Greg says Rangers.
No, but he has been. He did play for Stoke for years.
Okay, yeah, that's probably right.
He did play for Stoke for years. He's a good goalkeeper. I agree. Jerome's
who do you support, Kira?
I'm a big Liverpool fan. They're actually playing now.
Oh, how are they getting
As
on?
you can tell from my incredibly Scouse accent.
Yeah, that's right. I have very, very. Oh, I see. well, you're not missing much. You're missing something like Sparta Prague are playing the role of Potapova in the first set. Put it that way.
Exactly. I'll just watch all the
Tommy
goals
Paul
later.
has 2 break points now.
Ooh. I thought that might happen after his hold. He looked really pumped
Yeah.
up in the serve.
Yeah, this is big moment.
Oh, first serve in the net for Casper Ruud, second serve.
Tommy Paul
Jake.
puts his return in the net.
Yeah, he does. Yes, it's one
Oh,
save.
what was that? What was that?
That was that was really bad. That was
I
really
think Casper saw him taking a few steps into the baseline, and yeah, he mixed it up last minute. And then there's a smirk from Tommy Paul.
But.
Oh, he broke? Oh, yeah, he did. Of course.
Nick, you're right.
What a return.
lovely. That was really well played from Tommy Paul.
Yeah.
Casper's looking quite annoyed, which is quite rare as well. I don't often see much from him, but he's looking quite frustrated.
Oh, yeah. He was sort of boiling over there.
Oh, Jerome is here in the chat. I
just summoned him.
talk about not fact checking until now. I just saw the tweet and I thought, oh yeah, he's obviously a goalkeeper for Stoke. I mean, I remember him playing for Stoke for many years.
I only know of one Stoke player, a former Stoke player, if you will. Peter Crouch, was he?
I thought you were going to say Peter Crouch.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Michael Owen played there for a few months, I think.
Did?
Not 20. Yeah, not 20 great degree. There was something else. Yeah, Jake, of course, you and I are together. Too many Liverpool fans couldn't agree more. I actually have a question for Jake, and then I promise we'll get back to the tennis because there's a lot going on. But Jake, I want to know if you've ever heard of a YouTube channel called The Kickoff. Just give me a yes or no in the live chat. Anyway, regarding the match here, wow, Tommy Paul.
This would be Ruud's. I mean, if he loses, his first loss in a deciding set this season.
Okay. How many deciding sets has he played?
More than a couple. Yeah, there was.
Did he have a fifth set in Australia?
No, he lost to Nori. Was in 4 sets. Yeah,
Lost to Nori in Australia. I didn't know that, and I watched most of that tournament. But I knew he lost to Zhang in New York.
Oh yeah, one of them was the previous match, of course, and then 3 matches in Acapulco: one against Eubanks, one against Shelton, one against Holger Rune.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And Los Cabos was all straight sets until the final. Oh yeah, and also Max Purcell. Yeah, he went 5 sets in Australia against Max Purcell. He won that as well.
Yeah, that's plenty. I mean, my concern was how many deciding sets, and you're going to say like 2.
One.
It's like me saying, I'm unbeaten in deciding sets this year as well.
Yeah, I know that.
But if when you start reeling them off, that's impressive. Yeah.
Well, it's 4-1. I might stick around until the end of this match, maybe. I mean,
Nick here is saying very few people remember Norrie matches. That's about as strong as Nick ever gets.
Oh,
I mean,
Cam Norrie.
I like Cam.
there's a name for Norrie fans on Twitter. They call them Norrie Nation.
Norrie Nation, yeah.
I've heard him called the Nottingham Nadal in the past. I guess
What?
he's a lefty. He's a lefty. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
And what is that backhand grip? I don't get it.
I know.
It's so ugly, but it does work for him.
Yeah.
Good point.
It just looks like he's going to fall over every time he hits.
Every time he plays a backhand, yeah. it's so weird. I watched Norrie a couple of years ago. I think it was probably would have been Acapulco. And he had this match where he just could not get his ball tossed right. And he was throwing it up and catching it and throwing it up and catching it and throwing it up and catching it constantly the whole match.
Was it
And
the
in
final
my
against
house,
Rafa?
sorry?
Was it the final against Rafa in
I
22?
can't remember which
Anyway,
match it
go on.
was. It might have been. In my household now, anyway, it's pretty terrible. I feel quite bad about it because I do like Cam Norrie, but when somebody throws the ball up and catches it again, we call it a Norrie, and we have to say it. Who says it quickest?
By the way, sorry, yeah, because last year, of course, Djokovic and Norrie had their moment in Rome. But before that, Norrie, actually, it was RG 2021 when he played Nadal, I think, in the third round. There was a tiff between him and Nadal too. And Norrie was complaining about the umpire giving Nadal too much time. And then Nadal was asked about in the press conference, and he said he tossed the ball up and caught it like 50 times. I didn't complain about that either. So yeah.
Which match is that? Which match was that? Nadal against
It
who?
was RG 2021.
Between Nadal and who?
Norrie.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there's something in it. Maybe it wasn't just that one match. Maybe he does do a lot of.
Yeah, he does it quite a bit.
Unorthodox. We will just come back to the match in a minute, but unorthodox shots in tennis. Norrie backhand obviously does spring to mind, given the
Medvedev forehand, easy pick.
Yeah, Medvedev forehand. I love that little 30-second clip that I asked you to send me a few weeks ago, Shrihari, of him just manically running around the court during a point. It was like, if anything encapsulates Daniel Medvedev, it's this 30 seconds. The TFO forehand is mentioned. Is that strange? I don't recall. I mean, we can talk about, shots that don't work, like Coco's forehand as well. But when we think of unorthodox, I'm thinking Oh, hang on a second. The Del Bonis serve.
Oh god, yeah, he has a racket here like the whole time, and then
I mean, even Qin Wenjiang's serve is unorthodox too.
Remember Pierre-Hugues Herbert, his serve also. He will literally drop down to the court.
4-2. Yeah.
Well, just the weekend, so yeah. Actually, I'm gonna head to bed right after this match.
Not surprised.
Yeah, quite a few people concerned about my sleep timings. Of course.
Really?
There's Jerome.
I had the same. Isabel said to me the same last night, and I was, yeah, don't worry, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I get
I'll
plenty.
make up for it at some point, yeah. So.
Yeah. Regarding this, is Casper Ruud going to make up for his break deficit, Kira?
I don't want to count him out. I still think he could. Yeah, I think tiebreak.
Okay.
Actually, if I'm looking at it, I don't think Tommy Paul will serve this out. I think
You've been spending too much time with Jerome. You're just like you're with him with Jack Butland. You're with him with this tiebreak scenario. Although you're not with him on the ego is going to fall.
I'm not with him on ego, so
no, true.
Oh yeah, he's fairly confident that Kostya could beat Swiatek.
I do think she's the most difficult person for Swiatek to play left in the draw. I think if she beats Kostya, she'll probably be fine from there on in. It's harder.
Yeah, don't get the luxury for sure.
What is Casper Ruud doing with these moonball backhands?
He does that always. Like whenever he just, I mean, towards the end of a match, he was doing that against Ruud as well when he was down a break in the decider, just throwing in these moonball backhands. I mean, he did train at Rafa Nadal Academy, so there's that.
This is in the Acapulco match, you mean? Yeah, against Runa.
Yeah, Acapulco. There's a stat for smash errors. Like
Ruud and Runa have played each other quite a few times in the last 18 months or so. I mean, French Open quarterfinal. I was actually at that match with Jamie. Then of course 22. Then, of course, as you say, they played each other in 23 as well. Yeah, that smash from, oh my goodness me. That's a second horrible smash from Tommy Paul today. And it's helped to give Casper Ruud 2 break points.
Yeah, he played a brilliant point to get the break point.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice backhand pass cross court.
I've never seen that stat before. Smash errors on the screen.
Yeah, I just mentioned
I've
that.
never
So
seen
Well, we
that.
almost don't need it because you remember bad smashes, right? I remember, for example, Casper Ruud's against Novak in the final of the French. I mean, I'm remembering smashes from 6-12 months ago. Oh yeah, I love this point. Now that's not a moonball backhand. That would be weird for him to be so close to the net and do. Well, a moonball backhand in that scenario is what we call a lob.
Yeah, I mean, Google stats are just nonsensical. I mean, you have stats like tie breaks won. People can tell from the score. You have stats like, what was it? Max points won in a row. Who wants that? I don't know. Because you don't even know when. They don't tell you when.
Yeah,
Maximum,
Oh yeah.
maximum games won in a row. Okay, I'll give it a pass. But when you got service games won, why do you need that? Again, people can count. Like, you just... Anyway, they're just so bad. I mean, winners, unforced errors. Hello, I mean, those are much more helpful.
Oh yeah. You can have a good idea about how a match panned out from
Exactly.
that.
Oh, and Ruud is broken back, huh?
There you go. That tie break that Jerome was teasing us about. I'm guessing that Alcaraz against Zverev will be on the other court. Am I right?
Yeah, Stadium 1 is Stadium 2.
Yeah. All right. I'll be back in a minute.
Sure. Another comeback win for Ruud incoming, maybe?
Would you? I was going to ask, is that what you'd predict now? If you had to predict the winner now, would you go for Casper?
I may still go for Tommy Paul. I mean, he's still serving first, unless he drops a maybe stinker of a service game next. He's gonna have that advantage, and I just feel if he gets to 5-4, he's gonna pounce on Ruud, and that service game he could close it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it goes back and forth, then if it comes down to the important moments. And if it's close, I'm picking Ruud, of course. He's the most stable player, and again, he's definitely more clutch than Tommy Paul.
Like in a tiebreak.
Yeah, exactly. Tiebreaker, or if it's 4-all or 5-all, and Tommy Paul is serving, and he is in a sticky situation, then probably be favoring Ruud. Kostyuk will be in the top 10 by the end of the year.
Possible. Definitely possible. Those kind of bottom 4 places in the top 10 of the WTA do rotate quite a lot, depending on form, I suppose. She'd have to win something pretty big, I would suggest, to do that.
It's nice to see a WTA pundit like Nick, mention something similar to what I mentioned, which is, unless a player really redlines and takes it to Swiatek, I don't see her getting beaten.
Yeah.
And then this score, I mean, obviously Rybakina last year. Granted, Swiatek was injured and she pulled out of Miami after, but then in Ostapenko as well, these players they can redline against Swiatek.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kostyuk can. I've
No.
not watched too much. Yeah, probably not.
I think it's possible, but not probable. If I had to guess, she could do it. I don't think she will. And I do understand. Like Iga did run out of gas in Dubai. I don't see that happening in this tournament. I see her, Iga in Dubai looked like she could run out of gas. I don't see that in her this week and a half. But
yeah, me neither, honestly. Jake says, "Come on, Casper."
I do like Casper, but I like both these players. I think this is a
I mean, I had hate to pick honestly between the two, but I had to.
I think Tommy Paul's going to want to break back quickly. He looks up for it on this service game of Ruud's at 15 all.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe 15-30 even in a minute for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 15-30 on the score. The website. Okay, that's a wild forehand. Casper looked like he was losing balance there.
Yeah, he was totally out of position, I think.
Yep.
I just want Casper to win something other than a 250 to shut everyone up.
Thought Acapulco would be it, but
Yeah,
apparently
me
not.
too. I was quite excited. I agree. I think
Oh my god,
Casper.
that was a horrendous miss from Ruud. Again, very similar, but this forehand was wider than the previous one.
2 break points.
What,
And then you
what's
get the
going
opportunity
on?
to serve it out as well.
Oh yeah.
Can't return that serve though. 30-40.
If I didn't know better, I think this was Stadium 1 like that. Indistinguishable.
Yeah, I cannot tell the difference between the two. At
Yeah,
all.
me neither. Like
That
even
might be 'cause I'm not
Wimbledon,
really-
like center court and court 1, you can still tell the difference.
Yeah.
But serve out wide. Oh my god. What's up with Casper's forehand?
He's totally
Look,
lost his forehand.
3 forehands inside out. It's missed. And not by a small margin.
No, that was totally Casper's errors that have led to that Tommy Paul break. But he gets
Well,
to
Tommy Paul is going to serve for the match now.
yeah.
Whoa. That I did not see that coming. I mean,
No, not after the break back that Casper was able to pull off, where he looked really strong again. But
yeah, because those are pretty strong serves. I mean, set up for a good +1, and he just
Yeah.
unreturned serve, 15 love, 3 points away now, Tommy Paul. With this, I think this would be his first. No, I think he made the semis in Toronto. Yeah, he did. Didn't he? Yeah, Toronto.
I didn't think this would be his first.
You might be right, but right.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's either right or wrong now.
One of those two, definitely.
Remember making the semis in Canada? Or was that the quarters?
That was a really nice.
Oh yeah, he did make the semis, lost to Sinner.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
the one.
Yeah. So this, if he wins, would be second Masters 1000
Second
semi.
Masters finals. And it would back up a really good start to the year. So it would make sense.
Yeah.
But Casper Ruud just hit a 102 mile per hour winner down the line.
I guess that was the shot he was looking for the previous game.
Absolutely.
15 all. It's nice to see that Tommy Paul is still lingering in that same spot in the rankings. And this would help too. I mean,
Yeah.
360 points, I think, for semis. Wow. Really nice play at the net. Forehand cross court, and Casper's completely out of position, and Tommy Paul puts away the volley. 30-15. He's just 2 points away now. Well, 22 out of 38 at the net, which is interesting. I mean, it's
Really?
not widely successful. Just barely over 50%.
Yeah. But he's kept at it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's poor from Tommy Paul. He had a real opportunity there, wide open court to go for the backhand down the line, and he just
Oh, I
sort of
see it. Yeah.
snatches at it.
Hit the net, 30 all.
Nick asks how you're feeling about the winner of this playing Medvedev or Runa. Or maybe how you're feeling about Medvedev or Runa, maybe?
winner of this, yeah, it depends really. I think Medvedev should be fine against either player. Holger, well, Holger would want to hope it's not Ruud in the
Yeah.
semis.
Do you see Medvedev beating Rune later or the other way around?
Yeah, I would like to think so. Yeah, they obviously played twice before, both on clay. I do think. I mean, not trying to be biased. Oh, Tommy Paul's gone long on the forehand. So from 30-15, it's break point for Casper.
Point.
Or am I behind? No, okay. Yeah, coming back to that. I felt like their Rome match was a better indicator because Medvedev was just cooked from that, exhausting 3+ hour, match against Zverev in Monte Carlo. And I mean, it was less than 24 hours. So, I mean, he didn't get too much time. The next day, he's back on court. So, yeah. And I think the Rome match was a better indicator. Rune was playing some really good tennis. That he's beaten Djokovic and Ruud and got the final, and of course, lost to Medvedev there. Yeah. But Medvedev's playing well this tournament too. I mean, a lot of people had him losing to either Korda or Dimitrov. He beat both. So yeah, I think if he is to ride that form, he should be able to. I mean, this is what I tweeted. I think only Alcaraz is probably the only player I don't see Medvedev beating on these conditions.
That was an incredible backhand pass from Casper Ruud, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Break point.
Another break point here. I mean, how nervous are you as a Medvedev fan? Look, I'll be asleep, so it doesn't matter. So, I mean, I slept through his match against Dimitrov as well. I was surprised not to see Medvedev winning, but to see it be so straightforward as it was.
I don't think Dimitrov, from what I've seen in the highlights and stuff, I don't think Dimitrov necessarily brought his level.
Yeah, that's what people are telling me.
But not taking anything away from Medvedev. I really like Medvedev. I'd like him to
of course.
do well in this tournament.
Yeah, he is a tricky matchup for Daniil. So, it is, it's natural to wonder, how it was such a straightforward affair. But
yeah.
Tommy Paul's missed this. Points played on serve this set, 22 for Ruud and 37 for Paul.
Wow. Big difference.
Yep.
Tommy Paul manages to get that overhead in the court to set up match point.
Oh, yeah, that was a good forehand. Smart overhead. He took some pace off it.
Yeah.
Because he knew Ruud was so far back, it wouldn't matter how good it was. Tommy Paul has a match point here.
Oh, I thought he'd done an ace. I thought he got an ace then. I think he did for a second.
He's just getting ready to. Oh yeah, it looked pretty close. Second serve.
Oh, that's erratic again. Just going for too much on the forehand.
Not needed. Deuce. Yeah, I mean, he could have traded for a bit and then, charged to the net. Better than trying to, I mean, to be fair, he did do it in the first set. He beat Ruud from the baseline. But anyway, let's see. 6 minutes and 45 seconds this game so far. I mean, usually the clock starts to tick when they cross 10 minutes these days. Scoreboard starts showing the clock even when it crosses 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes is normal, especially for a game.
Quite normal, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, another match point here for Tommy Paul.
Yeah, an unreturned serve to set up the match point.
Yeah.
Body serve on the match point, and he's charging to the net again. Casper goes for the lob, but it's out, and Tommy's done it.
Oh, he's through. Okay.
He's through in 3 sets.
Oh, that volley looked tricky. I'm just watching it now.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry to ruin
That
it.
was a nice celebration, I guess, from Tommy Paul. Well, disappointment, I guess, for Casper Ruud, but he was
Yeah,
outplayed by a better player. Nice exchange at the net from both. Casper was
yeah,
always a class act in defeat. But yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I guess you share a similar sentiment, but it was too bad that there had to be one loser. Two pretty
Absolutely. I really
good
like them
players.
both.
Yeah. Yes,
And
John will be back joining us soon.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, and there he is.
You thought correctly, yes, indeed. Although it's good timing because I think we'll soon be switching to Zverev Alcaraz. So for those of you tuning in right now, make sure you follow us and subscribe and all that other jazz, and then check out Damien, Jack, and maybe myself on Alcaraz against Zverev. I think when Casper got that break back, I think we were all probably thinking, this is maybe Casper's day. What do you think, Shrevi?
Yeah, that's what Kiara and I were saying. If the match were to go to a tiebreaker, we'd probably favor Casper more. But we didn't expect Casper to throw in such a poor service game. I mean, 3 forehands. It set up the serve set up for a good +1, and that forehand inside out, especially such a reliable shot of his biggest weapon, missed all. I mean, 2 of them by miles. The first one, okay, was a marginal error. You thought, okay, it's a rare miss, but then the other 2 were pretty wild. That gave Tommy Paul the break right back, and yeah, even though he was a bit tight, and Casper did have a break point to break right back, I think, yeah, Tommy Paul did pretty well in his own terms. A couple of break points actually he had to break back. Was there? Am I remembering one shot that Casper missed on a break point? Maybe, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, all in all, I do think Tommy Paul was the better player. The second set had more to do with his level, hitting a trough rather than, Ruud played well to hang in with Paul, but not well enough for 6-1. But yeah, and obviously he had chances early on in the deciding set as well. But Tommy Paul gets it done eventually through to his second Masters 1000 semifinal.
Indeed. Kira, you can have the last word. Kind of addressing a similar question to what Shohei just answered, but, missed opportunity for Casper, or was it Tommy's day?
Yeah, I'm sure Casper will feel it's a missed opportunity. He'll have thought, as Greg's just said, he was playing really great going into this match. I think he will have felt confident going into it. I would say, yeah, I suppose in some ways it is a missed opportunity, especially with those forehands in the back end of the third set. But I do think it's Tommy's day. I think that's what we should be focusing on. I think he had a much higher level throughout the match than Casper, and really earned the win in the end. He had to really fight for it in that third set as well. And I think it's more Tommy's day, and I think Casper shouldn't feel too down about his performance today. Just needed to tidy up a few of those forehand errors, really. And Tommy Paul into the semi-finals. So it's a really nice story for him, I think.
Yeah. First big semi-final, I think, Shohei, probably since Australia, I would say, last year. I remember thinking he was going to get has he been to a 1000 semi-final since then?
Yeah, Toronto last year, lost to Senegal.
Okay. Sorry, Tommy, and sorry, Tommy's fans. Anyway, on that note, I will bring this show to an end. Big thanks for joining us again, Kira, for 2 streams today.
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And same to you, Shohei.
Yeah, thanks for having me, John, and it was good covering this match with you, Kiara. I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
and
see you soon too,
John.
Yep,
see you soon. Do that. Rest well, sleep well.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
And to the rest of you, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.